Because a lot of times if you're listening to the wrong voices, and I'm not talking about people in general, feeding on the wrong literature, watching just movies all day long, you're not doing anything about it. Of course, you're going to still be at first base. You're never going to hit that home run if you never discipline yourself to do it.
A goal has an end point. A standard does not. So I have a standard for 2026 this year. I have a standard. And that standard is I am going to love my neighbor as myself.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Asbel.
And we want to welcome you to our first episode on A Cup of Real for 2026.
For 2026. I was about to say when she was over here saying first episode, I'm like, no.
Sorry.
For 2026.
2026. Are you ready?
I'm ready. 2026, here we come, whether we want to or not.
Yeah, ready or not, here we come.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at a lot of different people posting. I've heard people say, I've even received some texts, everyone's setting goals, resolutions. I hear a lot, and you and I have said that before. I don't want to repeat 2025 or whatever the year was. And
it's almost like every year we're saying that now.
Every year.
So I don't even go into I'm like thinking, I was thinking about that today on my walk this morning is, you know what? What happened last year has prepared me for the next of this year.
Yes.
So the lessons to learn, every year we should look at that. If it was a year that you're like, I'm so glad I'm done with this year. And there's some years it's like, it's been a fantastic year. But every single year we should look and reflect personally and say, what did I learn through that I can use that as my pivotal point for 2026 or whatever year you're
whatever year. We should be growing each year. And so as I'm reading everything, though, I'm thinking, okay, what are my goals? What are my resolutions? Everyone calls it something different. But the one thing that, as I was thinking about this particular topic, that you have to have two things, I should say, and I kind of briefly told you about it, is being intentional. You have to be intentional. That's number one. But you can't just be intentional. You have to be disciplined. Because if you're not disciplined, nothing's ever going to get done. And that's with everything. I mean, that is, but I feel like for you and me, and we're talking to everybody, we need to highlight it. Discipline, discipline, discipline. It's with everything. It's with our workout, our everyday routine. But some people are trying to lose, I was thinking, I have a few friends who are trying to lose some weight. So if you want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, you can't just wish it. You have to put hard work in. And John Maxwell has a great quote, and I know you love John Maxwell. He says, most people want to avoid pain, and discipline is usually painful.
I was literally listening to a podcast today because we're all about intention, being intentional about everything. And when you're intentional about it, that means I have to be disciplined in something. And many times, in order to get like a 10x off the value that you're looking for, I have to figure out, okay, if I want to lose weight, what am I going to do? Some people pop a pill. It helps them. You and I have a different philosophy about certain things, that intention, discipline. If generally when you look, you sometimes need a starter. So this whole new thing that's coming out that came out, generally it really exploded in 2025 with these weight loss pills, is generally people needed a jump start.
You mean the shot?
The shots or whatever they're taking, pills, shots. There's a lot of things that people are taking. But it's like some people just needed that jump start.
Sometimes
now,
you need that. Now,
if you're staying on it because you don't want that, and it's like, that's my only discipline I can have is by taking a shot, you might want to rethink why. But sometimes we need a jump start.
Absolutely.
And usually it's saying, for instance, I'm no longer setting like weight loss goals, fitness goals, or whatever. I'm setting certain components of saying I'm going to walk at least 5 minutes every day. That's intention. That's consistency. That's discipline.
Right.
Wanting to lose weight, instead of just saying, I want to eat healthier, be very specific with what you want to do. For instance, for me, I'm going to cut out pastas, rice and
chips.
Pasta, rice, and bread. Those are the three things that I'm going to cut out.
No, I'm playing.
Well, no, I might have chips or whatever, but that's not one thing that I'm going to cut out. But that's easy. I did it last year, and I made it all the way to June before I relapsed. But I know that if I very conscious, but it's because I'm only looking at three things, it's different than saying...
It's a little easier.
It's easier to do it. And I think that that's probably when we set a goal,
Yeah.
What is the goal? Is it an attainable goal? Is it realistic?
Is it realistic?
Is it realistic?
Yeah.
And that's something that I think when you're starting out 2020, it's a good launching to rethink and reset. Some people, poke fun at it. To me, I don't. It's a new it's a new chapter.
Oh, I love it.
And
it's a clean slate. It's a fresh start.
And to me, it's like, take that clean slate and re-look. And if you weren't able to achieve some of the goals that you did last year, reflect and understand why. Maybe they were not attainable to begin. Maybe you set yourself up for failure because you were too aggressive with the goal. Like you're like thinking, I've never been disciplined in my eating habits before. Now all of a sudden, I put a goal that says, I am no longer going to eat any of these 20 items. And those were your favorite 20 items.
Yeah.
You might want to rethink your goal.
That's a little,
maybe you set
hard.
yourself up, maybe it's a little extreme. It's like saying, I'm going to pray an hour every single day, and I haven't been praying at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
We talk about that.
Yeah.
You might want to start off with 5 minutes a day.
5, 10. Yeah. Totally agree with that. And just because we're moving into 2026 doesn't mean everything magically is just changing. Yeah. That's why discipline comes in. And I was thinking,
intention.
Intention.
You have to be intent first.
You have to couple those together. Yeah, you really do.
You got to couple it first. You cannot achieve something without having an intentional goal. Then you got to be disciplined to meet the intentional goal.
So it's setting the goal, being intentional about it, and then being disciplined. Those 3 things.
Even when you don't want to do it.
Even when you don't want to do it. Even when you're not in the mood. Even when you're not in the mood.
And I know I will tell you the one thing that has helped me to be a little bit more intentional and disciplined is literally, and it's things that we've heard about, but Mel Robbins made it really popular, this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 concept. And it's something that probably a lot of us have done before, but it's just very simple. And basically, it's if I'm struggling with discipline, just count down in your mind, just like they count down shuttle launch of 10, 9, 8, 7. This is basically, if I do something quickly, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. It's amazing how that works. Today, I'm sitting there, I'm doing my reading this morning, and I'm like, I need to go out for a walk before, because if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. And I said, in my mind, I just said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get off the couch. And I got off the couch, went into the room, did it.
It's like a magic word.
It seems kind of crazy, but it works.
If it
literally works.
Go for it. If it works for you, go for it. And as we're talking about being disciplined, I'm driving over here and I'm thinking, how can I equate something to it that's realistic for people? And it took me back to when I was living in D.C. I had that phenomenal job in the government relations office. I mean, I loved my job, but the cost of living is expensive there. So I needed a second job. So I began to think, okay, what kind of work can I do? So of course, waitressing. I'm good at that back then. And I didn't just wish it. I didn't just think about it. I didn't just have good intentions, but I had to be disciplined enough to hustle and to go put resumes in everywhere. It didn't happen right off, but I finally got hired at Cité Bello in Clarendon, Arlington. Some people may know the restaurant who are watching this, and it was phenomenal. But I couldn't just wish it. And that's the same way with resolutions, with goals.
Or anything else.
Anything.
Yeah. You can't, I hear that all the time, thinking, well, I'm just, I've been wanting to get this done. And I'm like, well, how long has that been a goal of yours? Well, for 9 years. Okay, so what have you actually been doing about it? And then generally what will happen is there'll be every excuse in the book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's why you're not achieving it.
Well, I think, too, we got to bring in the mind.
Yeah.
What are you allowing? What are you feeding on? Because a lot of times if you're listening to the wrong voices, and I'm not talking about people in general, feeding on the wrong literature, watching just movies all day long, you're not doing anything about it. Of course, you're going to still be at first base. You're never going to hit that home run if you never discipline yourself to do it.
To obtain anything, it takes work.
It does.
Everything takes work.
That's what John Maxwell said.
Literally
but
everything
takes work.
We
avoid, like John Maxwell said, we want to avoid pain. We don't like pain. And being disciplined, you're going to...
Well, I'm going to go back to, because we're both faith-based, I'm going to go back to the scriptures and the principles that we learned in the Bible. That's why Jesus had so many analogies that it either dealt with like fishing, or farming.
Yeah, farming.
Because it generally talked a lot about that.
Vineyards.
In the agriculture community is you got to plant the seed. You got to till the land.
Plant
you got to
the
make
seed.
sure that's in the good soil. Then you till the land.
Yeah.
Then you got to water it or
That's
whatever.
good.
And then if you have planted and cultivated and done everything, then your harvest.
Right.
And then you got to get out there and bring in the harvest. So the harvest is wonderful out there, but if you don't have the energy or you don't have the infrastructure to bring the harvest in, it will rot in the fields.
Yeah.
It literally will rot in the fields.
Infrastructure is very important.
And so you have to make sure that when you're developing, when you're building, but it all takes work. And so sometimes we are looking and we're scrolling through social media, or you're reading a magazine or a newspaper, whatever you're doing, and you're thinking, man, how did they make that happen? Hard work.
Hard work.
Discipline.
Hard work.
Intention.
Yep.
And they started. And so I was listening to and somebody was talking about something. I was thinking, if you'd understand the lessons in the scripture, the Bible talks about if you're faithful in the small, start small, and it will continue to grow.
You reap what we
and
sow.
Compound as you continue to move through that. But consistency, even when you see, man, this doesn't appear to be working. If something's been birthed inside of you,
yes.
and God gave you something, then you should start to plug away at it. Now, the issue is sometimes we're planting incorrectly, or we planted it into the wrong soil. So the idea is good, but sometimes the way that we've started the work process of it, we've got to pivot. So we can't be so married to the roadmap that we don't understand there's a different way to get to the same end objective as well.
I would say sometimes you do have to uproot.
Yeah.
You do have to go plant somewhere else. That phrase that says bloom where you're planted, sometimes you're in the place where you're not supposed to be planted. So you do have to uproot.
Sometimes the soil's not good.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So you can't
bad
bloom.
Soil.
Yeah, you can't bloom
bad soil.
where you're planted if the soil is bad.
Farmers have dealt with that for years.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just uproot and you go plant somewhere else in the right soil.
That's why Jesus gave the parable of you throw it on.
Yes.
Now, people that are seeking to manipulate and control you, that are bad soil, in your life, will try to keep you there and will try to use scripture around you. That's why you need to know the word. That's why he gave the parable and said, some of you are throwing your seed in stony ground.
Yeah. And then you're wondering why nothing's happening.
Why nothing's going, because you're not in good soil. So start to understand the environment around you.
You and I have said that.
And sometimes the environment may not be, we're not talking about location. Sometimes the environment is the people. The voices in your life.
Yep.
I was telling, maybe you and I were talking about this yesterday, but I was actually talking about this with Susanna. I actually wrote something for our monthly newsletter, our January newsletter for our company. And it was really more about the table. I am literally this year being very intentional and conscious that I am not going to occupy rooms where there's a can't attitude.
Yeah.
If it's a can attitude, we're solutions driven. There is ways out of this. I'm only occupying rooms where there are can do individuals. Yeah. I'm not wasting my time in rooms. I'm not talking just physical rooms, in can't attitudes. I know
exactly what you're
because
talking
what
about.
will happen is that is bad soil. It will start creeping in on you and you've got ideas. There's things and movement that you can actually make a difference. And what will happen is those voices, the more can'ts that get in the room, everything, there's always find a way of why you can't do something. Literally. There'll always be, what will happen is, guess what will happen? The fire will dim in you.
Oh, yeah. And you'll
just
back.
Start to believe and you'll shrink back and get out of those rooms.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, as you're talking about this, is your company's solutions group. Well, some people have a problem for every solution. It's the can't people.
Oh, yeah, it's the can't
They
people.
bring a negative, and they just have to plant a little seed.
Yeah.
And then they start making you second guess and think, oh, well, maybe this isn't the right thing to do. And that's the same way with, we're talking about planting.
Yeah. Now, I use can't people as a reflection first to just see, is there something in a process that can be improved upon? Can we do something different? Right now, I'm kind of tying it to, because I'm in healthcare, that we have a crisis in America right now. Yeah. There is a healthcare. The data has been proven over and over again that our costs are increasing exponentially, but the value of what we're getting for what we pay is not there. Compared relatively to almost every single country. We spend more money than any other country in the world, and the value of what we're getting is not commensurate with that. There's no denying the data is the data. We may not like it, But the data is the data. So we've got to do something different. We've got to be disruptive. But I will tell you, you get around people and they will say, well, you can't do that. That legislative, that will never pass. Or that will never pass. Or you'll never get, you know what? Guess what? You keep surrounding yourself with people like that. And guess what happens?
You're never going to get anything done.
You're never going to get anything. But there are people out there that want to get it done. They don't have a platform. They don't have a voice, and I'm going to use whatever influence and whatever platform that I have to make that. That's a goal of mine. So we're here talking about goals.
Right.
That's one of my goals.
That's one of your goals.
That's one of my goals.
Love it.
And I will tell you, I'm on this goal and standard, babe, right now. There are some things in my life I don't want to be a goal. A goal has an end point. A standard does not. So I have a standard for 2026 this year. I have a standard. And that standard is I am going to love my neighbor as myself. Why is that important? This came into my spirit August of this year. Okay. As I was writing my book, finishing up my book or whatever, I'd been going through God, because I've been on this grace journey about having grace in leadership. How do I, the Bible talks about speak the truth, but do it with love, seasoned with salt. So that means you have to have grace. I got to pray for wisdom, seek knowledge so I can have understanding.
Right.
We've talked about that on some of our podcasts. But this came into me as I have to love my neighbor as myself. You're never going to get into a collaborative environment when I cannot love you or see you past whatever you identify with, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's whatever company that you work for. I may disagree with your visions, your philosophies, or whatever, but can I sit down, break bread with you, and share the knowledge of the truth?
Right.
That's what Jesus did. It doesn't mean, just because I love you, doesn't mean I agree with you.
Right.
And we conflate the two. Just because I love you doesn't mean I have to go into your gatherings, but why can't I build the room?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why can't I build the room and invite people into my rooms?
Right. Absolutely.
And to extend the olive branch and say, hey, we would love to have you here. I want to have a conversation. I want to do that. Because maybe their room is the can't room.
Yeah.
But why don't we work on can room? Because it's amazing when I sit down with people, I generally will agree with probably 80 to 90%. We can actually get to commonality.
Yeah.
But the problem is we are allowing ourselves to be divided by the 10%.
It's a culture
that we don't agree with.
Yeah.
And if we follow the principles of Christ, you will let people that are the influencers of the days, this was the scribes and the Pharisees that did this. And they liked it because they kept in control.
They were in control.
The moment the masses begin to understand, wait a minute, you mean to tell me, Jesus, that you love me and I don't have to follow all these rules that they're trying to keep to control me? You mean I'm here, I don't have to go through them anymore to get to you?
Yeah. I don't need a middleman. Yep.
It's pretty enlightening.
And go directly to
Now, we're
God.
talking about this from a religious perspective, but how much more on a surface natural perspective?
Yeah.
And that is how we're going to solve healthcare. That's how we're going to solve these ideologies that we have with man-made religion. Let's go back to the concepts of the word.
Right.
And those are the goals. Literally, those are my standard. I want a standard of loving my neighbor as myself.
That's
I kid about that a little bit, but I don't right now.
I think it's a great goal and standard.
I don't.
Yeah.
I want it to be a standard where somebody that's done something, whatever, my natural flesh wants to get even.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, naturally, if we're honest, we do.
Yeah.
When somebody really hurts us, can we really turn the other cheek? As Jesus said, that's the true testament of love.
Yeah.
It's not loving you that loves me back. It's easy for me to go out. When we hosted a dinner on New Year's Eve, all those people like us.
Right.
That's easy. It's wonderful. We have a great time.
Yeah.
But can I invite someone to the room that doesn't necessarily and still have a good time with them?
Right. Right.
Those are the questions I'm asking myself.
Yeah.
Because that's what Jesus says.
I think you do a pretty good job of it, though.
I do.
I mean, in healthcare, you are literally
at
tables with everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone. I mean, so don't beat yourself.
But I don't know, but I want it to be a standard.
Okay.
I want this to be a standard.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, what I want it to be is when something hits me is my first reaction to turn the other cheek?
Right.
Or is it to get even? Does that make sense?
That's kind of, I was going to challenge the ladies with the ministry I do about not holding grudges this year, to try to release it immediately. Because you're going to have people come against you. You're going to be hurt. But don't harbor it. Don't let it fester inside. Because then it starts growing.
Let it go.
And that's kind of a goal of mine. And I feel like I've done pretty good with it, but I'm human.
We're all human.
So,
and if we are honest with ourselves and we admit it, for anybody to say, oh, that never bothers me, you're the problem. I'm just telling you, because real people, you face things.
Well, let's put it like this. What may bother me may not bother you, but what may bother you may not bother me, but something's going to bother you.
Yes.
You're human. Something's going to rile you up.
You are not perfect.
Something's going to get your goat, as we say. So that's kind of a goal for me. But I'm going to challenge the women who follow me on
to let it go. Like, let it go. Like, when you feel it,
I mean,
just
allow
let
it to process a little bit. Sometimes you have to process those deep daggers, but a lot of things we just fester and we hold on to, and then we don't like that person anymore. Or we see that person with someone else, we're like, oh, they're all that way. We got to stop stereotyping everybody too.
Yeah.
That's easy to do. Have more compassion.
Have more compassion.
Use wisdom. Use discernment.
Yeah. But sometimes you love from the porch.
Yes.
Sometimes you love with the boundary. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
To love everyone doesn't mean that I let all my boundaries down. No. If somebody is going to intentionally keep hurting me and whatever, it would be crazy for me to just say, oh, well, I love you. Just throw a knife and kill me.
Yeah, well,
of course you're not going to do that. But I can still love you and say, when you change, I'm going to welcome you back in. Right. But right now, I'm going to keep you at a distance. But I love you. I'm going to pray for you.
And there can be a trust factor there. But it's like we've talked about before. Jesus sent out like 72 plus disciples. We don't know the names of all of them. But we know the names of the 12 disciples who were very close to him. And then we know the names of Peter, James, and John who went with him to the mountain.
So as we wrap this up, let's find out. I want to know what are some of your goals that you set for 2026? Well, there's
different goals. Some of them are like my books.
Well, give a few of them.
Well, like I want to I'm getting ready to release. I'm starting a series, a Women of Purpose Bible study series, and one's getting ready to be released in a few weeks. But I have the other one ready to go, and it'll be ready to go soon too.
You're gonna keep this series, this Bible study series, okay?
That working out, getting healthier. Sugar is my problem.
Okay, so are you cutting out sugar? That was what I was hearing about today. So I want to get healthier. That is not an objective measurement.
Sugar is your pasta, your rice.
Okay.
And what
so are you cutting out sugar?
Yeah. Well, I was just telling one of my sisters, Liz, yesterday, I'm cutting out processed sugar for the month of January.
Okay.
I'm going to allow myself some healthy alternatives with coconut sugar. It just works for me.
Okay.
But it's so hard for me, especially.
And I will 100% agree for you. I am not I'm a salty, savory type guy. She is a sweet. I've never in my life seen anything like it. I can have it for
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's always after dinner. I want that cup of decaf coffee or hot tea, and I need a cookie or something with it. So I am finding recipes. I'm getting alternatives.
Okay, so you're gonna find an alternative sugar substitute
for the month of January.
For the month of January.
Then I'm going to regroup my thoughts and see where I am. This is the other thing I'm doing with goals. I'm not saying, okay, by the end of the year. No. Every 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to go back and see where I am. I feel like that is so important. Because a lot of times we have these goals and then we get busy, we forget about it, we put it on the back burner. But if we will revisit them, then we'll be like, you know what? I want to do that. Oh, I'm starting piano lessons up again.
Good.
On January 12th is my first lesson.
It. That's your first.
So I'm going to refresh all those things that I learned.
Because you want to play like classical type music.
And some gospel, some jazz, but this will be my first lesson January 12th. So
I didn't know that, but good.
Yeah, I haven't told you. I'm only going to do it once a month because I don't have time to do it every week. And plus, when you're home and you're working, I can't be playing the piano. So I told my piano teacher.
She's like, I'm ready for him to go.
No.
Oh, yeah, she is.
No. I told my piano teacher I got to work around his schedule. He's gone on the 12th. So that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, those are a few things. I have a list. Goals.
So I like that piece. So mine I have a few. My one thing is my standard. I want to create, I just want to love my neighbor as myself. That is a standard. So that's going to be an ongoing. It's not a goal because you never achieve that.
But you're going to have to revisit that every month.
Oh, I have to revisit it almost every day.
Yeah.
So I feel it when I feel the twinge, I write it down and then I go back and explore. That's kind of the standard. It's kind of the same thing with grace. You just start living. So now I'm like, literally, I started this journey in 2020 and now I'm writing a book about it. It's amazing. It's amazing where I'm at right now. I can tell
you've grown.
It's amazing. It's like a 180 degree.
I agree.
Loving my neighbor as myself, I'm going to get that because that's the standard. I don't ever want to get there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because what happens is
you'll never
won't.
Be perfect.
You never will.
Never.
And so it just needs to become a standard part of the way that I am. So that's my standard. But the goals that I want to release a second book because I have that second book. So
you've had the second book ready.
The second book was already done, but they thought the first book needed to be something else. So that book comes out. That's really exciting. It's been a neat journey. The other goal that I want is I want to do a TEDx talk.
Oh.
And so I'm going to pursue that. And then I want to write, I want to write an article and be published in a mainstream magazine.
Oh, you'll do
And
those.
So I'm going to work very,
doubt.
very hard on making that happen too. I'd like to do some of that.
Those
I enjoy
attainable.
writing
Definitely.
and things like that. So these to me would be attainable goals. It's going to take work. It's going to take intention and discipline to make it happen. But those are some of I've got a few others that I'm looking as well that I've written down. But these are like measurable goals that I want to do. And to your point about the healthy lifestyle is I've been intentional about working out more. I'm going to be intentional this year about when I travel, working out. That I've not done very well at.
If you can do that, I will be so excited because this has been your downfall all last year. Because how many days did you travel last year?
Oh, I didn't want to add it up. Over 200.
Oh, my word.
Over 200.
Okay, so folks, this is a deal. This is my system, and I'm used to him traveling all the time. So, and it works for us. Some people say
But you do travel with me on some of the business trips.
I'm going with you the end of January. And last year I did get better about traveling with you. I like to be home a lot. I'm a homebody.
Well, and the dogs.
And my little dogs, and especially Bella. She's 14. So I know this year.
But she's traveling with me more this time. Like there's some of them are like, sorry, you don't have an option.
Yeah,
you got to be with me here.
Yeah, those little trips. So I'm like, I just can't. And I like to be home though. I genuinely like to be home. Plus, I refuel. I write. It's just my time. But what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought.
About me working, working from the road.
So if you will accomplish this, if you will start doing it in 3 months, and you make a habit. They say 21 days makes a habit. Then it will become natural for you. You got your gym clothes, your tennis shoes, and you're going to do it. And you will feel so much better because your stress level is so high. You need to do this.
I know I have to work on that. That's where I have to be intentional when I do a day trip. Because sometimes it's like, okay, I got to pack my stuff in. And I'm generally like a concise packer.
Yeah, you are.
And so sometimes I can go 4 days with just a carry-on. But now I've got to pack in gym clothes, and I generally have not done that. So I'm going to really try to make this work.
This makes me happy.
To where I can do something.
Plus, it helps with.
And Jack's been helping me. He's got an app that I'm signed into that he's going to help me kind of make sure to stay accountable. So when I'm here and work out with him, I have a trainer. So I do that intentionally because if I don't, I have to have an accountability partner. So I know the areas that I'm weak in where I won't do it unless I have an accountability partner. So fitness is one of them. Is I have to have some type of accountability to make that happen. So I put that into my life several years ago. But working from the road has been an area. I started this app process with him. It wasn't working. So I had a conversation with him yesterday when I met with him. It was like, we got to be a little bit more intentional about that.
I am happy to hear this.
And then the only other thing as I'm doing like you is I'm going to revisit like the pasta breads and rices. I'm going to try to do that for the entire month of January. And then come February, I might revisit and have like a cheat day.
Yeah.
Or something like that to where it's becomes kind of a consistent where I bring that down because I could eat it every single day.
I know.
Like just I love it.
Me with sugar and you with that. Yeah. So I really think for people watching, revisit your goals every month.
Yeah.
And figure out what's
and
working.
Pivot on them, like thinking if I didn't make it, if that didn't work for
Mm-hmm.
me, instead of just stopping it all together, maybe it was just a goal that you put that it was You thought it was realistic, but it wasn't. So if after 2 weeks you're not achieving it, then figure out, you know what, maybe I want to lessen that a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like,
don't be so strict on that. Yeah, I agree.
Where you don't pivot. Like pivoting is important.
Because we do live in a culture that's extreme on both sides. So we can be very extreme. And I can be that way with my workout. I enjoy working out though. I do. But the food part, that's my struggle.
Yeah. So be intentional. And this is not just around goal. We're talking about it right now because it's the beginning of the year. But goals, standards.
Your to-do list.
But always remember a to-do list. But make sure they're realistic.
Yeah.
Make sure that you can obtain them. And if you start down the process and you don't obtain it, then maybe go back and re-look at it and say, maybe it was too much of a stretch goal.
Yeah.
Because I believe in stretch goals. I have goals and stretch goals. The team at our company can talk about that all day long. We have a goal. And then we're going to have a stretch goal as well. And that is just to kind of stretch us a little bit where it might be a little uncomfortable. And sometimes you don't meet that stretch goal. That's okay. But the goal you want to obtain.
Okay, so to recap, you talked about the soil. I think you plant the seed, which we will equate that to.
Well, you first identify the soil.
Identify the soil. But I'm equating this to the goal, the resolution. And then you plant the seed, you plant the goal, you plant the resolution. Right. And then you have to start watering it. And you
discipline, that's intention.
And you may have to pull the weeds around it, the voices around it, the negative things around it.
That's exactly right.
Those steps to it.
For it to start growing too. So just remember, once you do it, there could be people, there could be bad influences, like maybe on your eating, they want to go, well, hey, we want to go here. I'm like, sorry, you can't do that. Of course you want to go.
Chocolate chip cookies, here I come.
So you have to be careful. Like you have to make sure who am I aligning, who are the voices speaking. I'm being very intentional about that in 2026. Have been very clear. Also having people hold me accountable to that. Like me and Susanna, we spent yesterday morning for a few hours going through my calendar, figuring out what should I keep, what should I not keep. What was like we're going to come out with a whole new redesign of some things to just make sure that I'm in only rooms that are can-do rooms.
Love it.
Not can't rooms.
Love it. Love it.
Because that's the only way that we're going to solve, like, because I've got professional goals as well that says, this healthcare piece of it is only going to be solved with people that have can-do attitudes. Right.
So the big word here in all of this is discipline. Intention.
Intention and discipline.
And discipline.
So guys, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for joining us.
Be disciplined in your goals. Have intention and then be disciplined with it. And it's going to be painful and it's going to require work. But you can do it.
Yeah. And we're only in day 2, I think. So we have 363 days to go.
Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.